Returning to my Coin Lady channel, I am pleased to see you again. It will happen swiftly when XRP goes live, and it will happen in unison with the market as a whole, going up. Many things contribute to my high level of self-assurance. The majority of its support comes from past examples. The stock market is expected to expand, and as is traditional with these 4-year cycles, it has also led to the rise of crypto markets, also known as alt season. You can bet that XRP will be included in that season because it is an altcoin. Everything is going to happen in a flash. If you haven't planned ahead for how you'll deal with this, you won't have much time to get ready. If your goals are accomplished, will you be prepared to sell when the time comes? If so, how will it unfold? Have you established enough number of accounts with different exchanges? So, what's your plan for depositing those newly acquired funds into a bank account? I mean, surely that's the next logical step, right? I get that some of you are thinking about keeping it in cryptocurrency or maybe even starting stable coins. In my opinion, this is an intriguing subject for discussion. Perhaps I will create a film delving further into it in the future. Having never had a need for one, I must admit that I have never utilized a stable coin. Because once I make a purchase, that's it, the item is removed from the exchange and placed in cold storage. And that is all. Why is stablecoin necessary? I can envision a situation where, depending on when I'm allowed to withdraw funds from an exchange, I could imagine a scenario where things go awry with the exchanges. No matter who is operating a stable coin, I will never trust it, therefore even if there is a chance that I could park, very briefly, some earnings in one, I will be really uneasy about it. Truthfully, there is a degree of danger. A counterparty risk exists in this situation. Therefore, there are various ways to approach this. I was only curious as to what my thoughts on the matter may be. By the way, I wanted to mention that for those of you in the US, like myself, it's important to know that the insurance coverage for bank accounts is limited to $250,000 US. If you're hoping to make more than that, say 7 figures, a conceivable goal in the cryptocurrency industry, what would happen if it actually came to fruition? So, what's your plan? Is it something you're ready for? Even if you have a few $1,000,000 in an account for a short period of time, it's generally fine. While I can't speak for you, I simply cannot bear to take that chance. For me, it's just food for thought, even if it's something as basic as having multiple accounts prepared to max out at specific times. Perhaps I'll do a video where I go into more detail about that. But for the time being, let's focus on the near-term developments around Bitcoin. We will discuss that briefly. Let's discuss the likely arrival time of this market. As a matter of fact, time is running out for history to continue flowing sideways if it is going to kind of rhyme with itself. In January, February, and March, when everything seemed to be falling into place, I think we were all hoping for the best. Perhaps the apex of the cycle will be visible to you, and we will see this left transformed cycle. And we definitely didn't reach our peak in the first part of 2024, at least not this calendar year. Perhaps we'll witness a significant surge in activity shortly. The fact that it hasn't happened yet, however, doesn't rule out a positive resumption. Some have even hypothesized that the euphoria or excitement was the driving force behind the run-up we witnessed. Optimism, if you will, has been infused into the market as a result of exchange-traded funds (ETFs). So, there are those who believe, correctly or incorrectly, that you may have simply delayed some of the price action that would have happened later this year, but I cannot say with certainty whether or not this is accurate. That's a fascinating idea. Maybe it's the case. However, altcoins will inevitably follow any stock market expansion. An increase in liquidity is expected to occur. According to a number of items that I have been reporting on for months, more capital is flowing into the stock market and the crypto asset class as a result of that. Also, XRP is affected by this. The reason I started this video is because I will show you a couple more analysts that have predicted that XRP will experience price activity in the double digits later on in the video. I was wondering whether you have considered this. For the most part, being a crypto means riding the wave of sideways and falling prices. So, I don't often bring up that subject, but I figured I'd drop a hint to maybe spark an idea in your head. At the very least, we can have a more in-depth conversation about it, covering topics that could be worth considering. Have a strategy in place before I record this video if you haven't already. It's never too late to think about it. Yes, it is. XRP is now trading at around 51 cents as of 8:44 p.m. Central Time on Saturday, November 2nd, 2024. We are still seeing those greedy batches, with Bitcoin at $69,260 and the crypto, fear, and greed index at 74 out of 100. This is not extreme greed, though. Just a few days ago, it was at 77. However, we have returned to just your average greed, but he's planning to get even with someone. True euphoria will return, and tremendous greed will reign. Listen up. Additionally, there is this piece written by the widely respected chart expert Bob Lucas. This is a Bitcoin USD chart that he shared with his 294,000 X followers. It spans more than a decade and shows the market cycles that have come and gone. The process is automatic. Bitcoin is unconcerned with all the stories, he wrote here. Nearly all of the increases since inception have happened in the third year of the 4-year cycle, which is now underway. Turn off the clamor. Okay, folks, listen up, this is legit. Plus, I have a distinct memory of hosting this channel 4 years ago, around the time when XRP itself began to make some waves. Things are heating up as we near the end of 2020, and the excitement is palpable, especially in the run-up to the election. Also, crypto in 2021 is going to be amazing. You are that, I suppose. When that happens, we will have reached the bull market's apex. Therefore, I fail to understand how this time may be different. Just like I mentioned before, we were hoping to see it sooner rather than later. After all, it's better than later. Unfortunately, we did not witness the initial routines or the exhilaration that would have been good to experience. Therefore, it's entirely possible that we're simply going to observe some same-Z stuff happening here. I mean, come on, let's not make things too complicated. Famous last words, I say. You are aware that this moment is distinct from the others, alright, perhaps occasionally in specific respects. Overall, though, I have my doubts. Undoubtedly, I have my doubts. Let's talk November, writes chart expert Dr. Magic in a recent piece. Even excluding 2013 and the insane 450% election years, it is still the greatest performing month for Bitcoin. I don't understand why the chart doesn't include 2012, a year with an average return of almost 17% and a November return of 12%. November has been a historically good month overall, but especially for Bitcoin, so if you're not behind the wheel, it could be worth your time to check it out. I just don't think things will turn out differently this time, especially because Bitcoin is now the market leader. Here are all the coins. Seems like you enjoy looking at it. I think this is great news regardless of whether you own Bitcoin or not, both now and in the past. Since markets dislike uncertainty, the most spectacular events tend to occur in the years leading up to elections. So, first, we'll watch the market's reaction. If we discover out who is winning the US presidential election right now, it could be so close that we don't have a clear winner. It all comes down to the victor in the end. Who knows how the market will react if that's the case, and if the Electoral College results are crystal clear. Predictions are not going to be made by me. Seeing my video is an honor. When you're done, hit that subscribe button and let me know what you think.